What is up, everybody? It's a new week in Steelerland. Steeler Nation is alive and well. OTAs are here, rookie mini camp, a lot to talk about, but we have a very, very special guest today. Mike, how are you?
I'm good, and I'm not the special guest, which is a good thing because I'm here every damn week. We got a lot cooler special guest today, that's for sure. I hope people didn't think that introduction was for me, but I'm good. You said it. Steelers back at training camp on the field, at least not training camp just yet, but they're back on the field at the Rooney Complex. Man, you say it all the time. Steelers season is 24/7, 365 days a year,
Yes.
and not including a leap year. So we're excited, no doubt.
All right, Sammy. Ready, set, hike.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast. Steelers Crazy.
Harris Smith shields. Flacco Polamalu takes it home. Super Bowl 43. Pittsburgh might be bound for that thanks to number 43.
The sickest Pittsburgh Steelers podcast. Sports entertainment like no other. It's gonna be sick.
Yes, sir. Like you said, we do have a special guest today helping us talk some Steeler football. We're going to talk a little bit about his future. I know a lot of people curious out there in Steelers land. He's one of the big men up front on defense. You certainly already know this guy. Tyson Alualu. Tyson, what's up, man?
What's up, man? Thank you guys for having me.
Most definitely.
I'm excited.
Thanks for joining us. This is really cool. We know Steeler Nation is excited to hear from you. First of all, where are you joining us from? You're in the Berg, right? You pretty much are a Berg resident.
Here in Pittsburgh, man. The family's here, so enjoying the offseason. And like you guys said, man, I'm just excited about the future and, just taking it one day at a time and see what happens.
Well, let's talk about that future a little bit. You're 36 years old. First of all, you look 24. I mean, we can't lie out here. We're not just blowing smoke.
That's why we had to get the hair in there.
That's why we had to get the hair in there, man. You still got the flow.
I think my kids, man, they keep me young, so I give 100%. Them.
I was gonna say, so you're 36. You're a free agent. Do you want to keep playing, Tyson? Where are you kind of at in your career and mindset?
Yes. So for me, I think the plan is just really trusting God and seeing His plan and purpose for me unfold. But I'm preparing like, I will play this season, and I can't tell where it's going to be. In a perfect world, I would love to be back with the Steelers and finish my career here. But I've just been training, so it's it felt normal up until today because I've been training with our trainers here and with the guys that I'm always around, Cam, Jesse, the guys that kind of live here, a lot of the vets. But until Cam had to report in today, that's probably where it kind of feels a little bit different. So, yeah. But like you guys said, man, I'm just excited to see, what the near future holds for me.
Yeah, obviously you sound like you have a great mindset about it. Had a good career. A lot of guys don't have that longevity. So it sounded like you're at peace with whatever happens. Let's keep touching on the Steelers, though. Have they remained in contact? Have you remained in contact with them? What is that? I know you can't speak too much about it, but is there kind of been still a relationship there?
Yeah, there's still a relationship for sure. But as far as like contact with the organization and team, is kind of like that slow period where I'm kind of just doing my thing and training and preparing. But even up until the season was over, my son was training there, so I was always at the facility to drop him off, pick him up on the days that he wouldn't drive there. He was training with the strength staff there, so I was always seeing the faces that were still in the building, whether it was trainers, equipment staff, and some of the coaches. So, there's that continued relationship that will go beyond my playing career with the people that I have there. So, it's just a great organization to be around. So, I'm thankful that, they allow my son to do that. And, even just keeping me there, even though, I hit free agency. It was just good talks, after the season with exit meetings and even after that. So, I'm just grateful for the relationship that, I have and my family have with the Steelers.
Sounds like today's a little strange for you, Tyson. You're so used to doing something for the last 14 years. Every week this week, you're reporting somewhere. Is it almost like this out-of-body experience right now that you're sitting with us two buffoons?
It is. I mean, like I said,
Yeah.
up until today where Cam, went in and reported to OTAs, it kind of felt like a normal offseason because we was training, kind of getting after it, doing field work on our own, and not reporting to training camp to OTAs now where you going out there and practicing. I think maybe my body is telling me I'm supposed to be there, and mentally, I feel like I'm at a good place where I'm trusting and believing that whatever happens is the way God intended. So that's kind of how I'm approaching it, and I think that's given me the most peace. Because we're creatures of habit, and this around this time it's time for me to go in, and I'm here. I trained this morning already, but not being reporting to OTAs is probably a little different around this time of year.
Definitely. So you battled injuries, recently. How has that affected you both physically and mentally?
Yeah. Probably more physically than anything. The past 2 years has been definitely a challenge. I mean, when you get injured, so for me, 2 years ago when I got injured, that wasn't as tough as it was because I was kind of doing the rehab and just kind of getting ready to come back. And then I guess last year reporting to OTAs and kind of dealing with a knee issue, that kind of made everything a little bit more tough. I guess you could say more mentally because, it was something that I really didn't want to tell the team early on because I was coming back from a major surgery.
Makes sense.
Being 35 years old, it would have probably been something where, you're written off. But in hindsight, it's probably something that I should have, rested and took care so that it wouldn't linger in training camp and even during the season. So that was tough, trying to battle through the knee injury more than anything. But it was tough, man, not being able to get on the field, even when I was getting healthy, to have an opportunity to show that, I could still play at a high level. So I think a lot of that, the combination of, not playing early on and sitting and then not having an opportunity is probably what gives me the drive to, want to play one more year. But again, it's still just trusting in God's plan and purpose for me moving forward.
Definitely. Kind of to go off my next question is, you were in and out of the rotation last year. How challenging was that for you? Because I know that you have, that you're a fierce competitor, always have been. Just kind of, I can't imagine what that's like, being out there, that, you want to be out there. So just kind of shed light on that.
For sure, man. It was real challenging, especially like you said, as a competitor, I just want to be out there. And a lot of times, coaches see certain things and got to protect the team, protect yourself from yourself. And it was humbling. But after having that a meeting with Coach T where he kind of told me the news of like, I'm going to take a step back and try and, fill that spot and see where we can have people help out. After that, after getting over the humbling experience of like, oh, why is this happening to me? It was really a blessing in disguise because I look back and I watched the film, whether it was like the first 3 games, and I didn't really realize it at the time it was happening, but I was like, man, I'm really not playing to the level I expect. You know what I mean? And it was tough to watch, and I'm thankful because like I was trained as athletes to like play through a lot of the pain, and really looking back is probably the best decision for me to get healthy and then, contribute any way I can later on to really help the team instead of hurting. So it was a humbling experience, but it was, better for me in the long run.
Definitely. So we have to ask you this. Tell us what it's like playing with guys like Cam Hayward and also a very special shout out to our friend Big Worm. What was it like playing with him? I mean, I think that he had the best celebrations in the NFL last season. That's just me personally, and I'm not being biased or anything. But I think I like to think that our show, got him out of his shell a little bit. So just touch on playing with those two guys.
It did, man. Definitely shout out to you guys' show first, man. I enjoyed, always watching. It was Cam's podcast, and then after learning Worm had one, watch.
Yeah,
a lot of you guys.
Worm's too humble. Worm's too humble. He's a humble worm.
But like you said, man, you guys definitely got him, out of his comfort zone.
Yeah,
and stepped into something world. Special, man, on the field. But it was good to see, good to watch, and see firsthand. Just he was out there having fun. But those guys that you mentioned, Cam Hayward, Chris Wormley, they're like that. The typical, what you would expect a 3-4 defensive end to look like. Yeah. Big, long arms, and just the way they play. I feel like Worm has gotten so much better over the years since I've seen him develop into the player that he was. Mm-hmm. Sucks for him to get injured the way he did.
Yeah,
because I know he would have, got the bag somewhere, whether it was back in Pittsburgh or somewhere else. But still excited, man. He's a young dude, and I know he'll bounce back. But overall, just from a Steelers standpoint, excited to see what happens. Love the new additions, whether it's through free agency and the draft. So yeah, man, I'm excited to see what happens.
Yeah. Before I throw it back over to Mike, I just had one more question. We thank you for taking it easy on Worm as well. So we'll make sure that we send him the link to this. What impact has Mike Tomlin had on you?
Oh man, now you can't say enough good things about Coach T. Who he is as a head coach, as a leader. Man, what you see on a daily basis is really who he is, every day.
Everyone that I ask that question literally has like the same response, and it's great to hear every time. But it's awesome.
I guess the best way to describe him is just a great leader of men, and he's it's all the things that he has to deal with and the decisions that he makes to, make this team competitive, bring out the best in each individual, says a lot about his character. And you just see how real and genuine he is as a person. And, you just want to go out there and be your best and play your best for somebody like that, because at the end of the day he has your best interests at heart as a person, and really just collectively for the team. And really ain't got enough great things to say about Coach T.
We're hanging out here with Tyson Alualu, big fan of the Chris Wormley and Friends show here on the Sick Podcast. Steelers crazy. Tyson, we're going to get you out of here shortly. I want you to talk a little bit about the guys on the other side of the ball that you had to go up against, specifically the young talent in Pittsburgh, Kenny Pickett, Najee Harris, Deontay, George Pickens. The future of this offense is bright, right?
Oh, for sure. For sure. And you could see that, early in OTAs throughout training camp. Excited, man. This is a great group of young guys, but it's like young guys that's kind of forced into a leadership role early on with Kenny, Najee, and Deontay. All those guys, man, they're gonna be real special. I mean, whether they're big names in the league yet or not, they're going to be very soon. And I'm excited about how they'll come together this season with the new additions that the Steelers picked up. Really the sky's the limit, and I think it all stems off of or starts with Kenny. He'll just be a good leader, somebody that is putting in the work and really has that mindset, like a stone cold killer, man. He looks like sunshine, but it's the way he plays, man. His mentality is to go out there and kill. So I'm excited to see what he'll do in his second year with starting off being the guy, and the pieces that they added. I'm just excited, even as a former player or teammate, but just as a fan to watch. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I mean, I can't wait to see. There's not enough good things you can say about those guys. I mean, just like only time will tell. So I just hope all those guys have a good year, because that'll mean it's a great year for the Steelers.
Sunshine, you got me wanting to watch Remember the Titans now.
Yeah.
Strong side.
I thought I was the only one who thought that, so I'm glad you were
strong
thinking as well.
side, man.
Yeah, that's TJ's favorite movie, man. Every time we're in
it really?
he's always like quoting some line, and then when we say, TJ, that's your favorite movie, he always gets mad at us like it's a bad thing. But if anybody's been in our meetings, man, he quotes that movie a lot.
I feel like Tomlin has some Denzel to him. I mean, come on, right? Like a little bit.
Oh yeah, for sure.
A little bit in that movie, right? Like, hey man, last question. Let's get you out of here on this. We always did this with Chris and some other guests. There's obviously the professional life that everybody gets to witness on television, but give us a peek behind the curtains. What's family life like? What are the kids into sports? What's dad life like? Hit us with some of that inside stuff that not everybody gets to see.
Yeah, man, family life is great. For me, this is pretty much all I knew since I was 18. I had my oldest kid, and it was almost like we had to grow up with him, learning a lot of things of how to take care of him. But it's exciting, man. Just it brings us so much joy, even more joy than getting to the NFL and playing for as long as I have. Just seeing where he's at now, where he's going to be a senior and he's getting recruited. He's doing pretty well for himself, man. That brings so much joy just to see your kids kind of following the footsteps in a sort of way. Not, I don't force him to play football. This is just kind of something that he enjoys, been around for a long time. So to see him put in the work and see things unfold, it brings my wife and I so much joy. So our kids are all in sports, playing. Our 6 and 7 year old boys are playing coaches pitch baseball. Daughter's playing volleyball. My other son right now he's just training, but he plays basketball, football. They run track. So usually this time around it's always running around, being everybody's taxi driver, dropping off, picking up. So it's pretty hectic in our house, but it's pretty much our normal, and we're enjoying it, and really just want the best opportunities for our kids, and that's pretty much our life of what me and my wife is doing on a daily basis. And so it's a little chaotic because we got 6 kids, going from 17 to 2 years old, man. So
wow,
never a dull moment for sure in our house. But we love it, man, and enjoying this journey, and seeing what happens with me in the near future. It's different, but it's exciting. So I'm excited to see what happens.
Good note to end on. You got that dad mini life game going, minivan life game going on right now. The juice boxes out, and the I'm sure you got the football cheer pom poms. I can see you on the sideline right there, pushing for your son to be a Cal Bear, maybe. Who knows? Following in Paul's footsteps, man. Shout out Cal, of course, with you on the show.
Right.
There you go. Hey, man, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you.
Had so much fun with you. We're always rooting for you, man. And let's do it again sometime.
Thank you, man.
You guys have a good one.
You too.
All right, Tyson. Love that. Throw that out there. A little Hawaii pride, but always a great time talking to somebody like Tyson Alualu. I mean, a guy that, like we said, I mean, we got a relationship with Big Worm. We've hung out with Cam Hayward on occasion. It was the first time really we got to sit down with Tyson and talk ball and life with him, man. So really special. We're racking up these D linemen, Jordan.
Hey, man, I'm really happy to talk to him and just get his perspective on anything. And I really like how, you just, because that's how I take life, just one day at a time, and, letting it, whatever is meant to be will meant to be. It's a new part of life. So, like I said, I'm a new dad, so it's dad life before anything. So I can't imagine what it's like with 6 or 7 kids. So God bless them.
That's going to be you. Come on, man. Give it 10 years.
Hey, let's do it. Let's get to work.
Wow, I'm showing that to your wife, Alyssa. 7 kids. She might faint after watching this. Hey, you need. I don't know. Maybe
that's a lot of
Steelers.
Yes, that is a lot of terrible towels. I will say that. So.
It's all right. I'm sure we got some friends maybe that have come on this show that can hook you up with some terrible towels. Probably not much of a problem there.
All right. Well, hey, it's been another great episode. Want to thank Tyson for coming on. I am Jay York Football. This is Mic'd Up Sports One, and this has been another great episode of Steelers Crazy, the Sick Podcast. Sammy, until next time.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast Steelers Crazy on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.